So now we have some questions that we want to answer on our website. So here I have the Major League Baseball website, and the question I have is, for the person who had the most home runs, how many did they have? And so as you can imagine, there are variations to this question that I might want to ask in the future. I might want to ask for the person with the most stolen bases, how many did they have? For the person with the most strikeouts, how many did they have? For the person with the least strikeouts, how many did they have? And so for any of these statistics on the page, I might want to ask this question. So as a first step to creating automation to support those kinds of questions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to parameterize this instance of the question to reveal what the different variations might be. So I'm first going to start by selecting, just by dragging my cursor and clicking and dragging, I'm going to select home runs, and I'm going to type statistic here. And from the drop-down, I'm going to select something the user selects from a list. And what's showing me here is what it was trying to extract from the page as some possibilities for what the statistic could be. So in this case, I know that the first answer is correct. Games played, at-bats, runs, hits, doubles. It's basically just all the statistics listed here in the header. However, in your case, if it turns out that the items that are in this list here aren't what you were expecting or are not the values you want, you can always click none of these and select and then type in your own at the next stage. So I'm going to select this first one and click select, and these are all the values that I have and want, and I can also edit them or click the X to make changes. So one other way that I want to parameterize this question is most. So I want to parameterize that to be superlative so that I can ask most or least. Okay, so this represents the different variations of this question that I can ask on this website. So now I want to create an automation macro to answer these kinds of questions. So if I scroll down, I can see there's this demonstrations area. I'm going to click Create Main Demonstration. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a demonstration of what the answer should be for a particular question. And so I'm going to select some specific values to do this for. So I'm going to select most. And you can choose any different values that you think make sense or that you think are easy for you to use. I'm going to select stolen bases. And I'm going to start recording how to do that. So you might want to experiment first maybe with the page just to make sure you know what the right answer is before you start recording. So here I'm going to click SB to sort by stolen bases. So I can see 71 is the answer. The person with the most stolen bases is Brandon Lowe, and I'm going to select 71 when I start recording. So I'm going to click start recording. It's just going to take a moment to load and do some computation in the background. Okay, so I'm going to do what I just did before. I'm going to click stolen bases to sort, and then I'm going to select 71 and click extract. And so you can see the events were captured here. If you realize that you mistakenly selected something or you want to redo anything, you can always just click these X's and redo your demonstration. So I'll click stop recording now, and it's going to generate the automation macro. Okay, so we have our program that was inferred here. So you can see there's two steps to the program. The first one is clicking. So this was clicking one of the headers. And so the header that's clicked here, it says, is based on the statistics that's chosen from this dropdown. And for the thing that's printed out, it says that the entry, so in this case, that's one of the rows here. The entry is determined by a superlative over statistic. So basically it selected the entry where the statistic, or in this case the stolen base, was the highest. And then it is then printing out the statistic attribute, which is stolen bases here in this example. And so there's some other options in the radio buttons that you could choose here for, instead of using this particular parameter, if you felt like actually it should always print out the stolen bases value. If that's what you want, then you can change that by clicking in the radio buttons. But here, this is what it thought you meant, basically. So let's just test this out. So let's test it on the one that we demonstrated on. just to make sure we're getting answer 71 still. So it's going to run. It's going to click and sort by stolen bases, and then it's going to highlight 71. So let's try a different value. Let's try doubles. Let's see the most doubles. So it's going to click 2B, which is doubles, and it's going to print out the first value, 42, the largest value, 42. And I'll just try it with a different value for least. So maybe I'll choose least strikeouts in this case. I'm going to click Run Program. It's going to sort by stolen bases, and I'm going to go down, strikeouts. It's going to sort by strikeouts, and then I'm going to scroll down and see that 87 was highlighted and printed out. So this is the program that it generated, and it, as far as I can tell, I tried it on a few different values. It seems like it's working for different superlatives and statistics.